Today we will be doing normal cardiac cycle. Before that, you always divide heart into four parts like this. This is right atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle. Between right atrium and right ventricle, there is tricuspid wall. Between left atrium and left ventricle, there is mitral wall. From the left ventricle, blood goes to the aorta through the aortic wall, and from the right ventricle to the pulmonary artery through the pulmonary wall. Okay. What happens when left ventricle and right ventricle contract? The blood is pumped through the aorta and to the pulmonary trunk. Okay. First, we will see the left side of the heart. When left ventricle contracts, blood is pushed to the aorta through the aortic wall, reaches the upper limb, head and neck, and lower limb. So, from the left ventricle, blood goes to the systemic circulation. And from the right ventricle, the blood goes to the pulmonary artery, reaches the lung, gets oxygenated here, and from the pulmonary veins reaches the left atrium. So this red is oxygenated blood and this all is deoxygenated blood. That is, left side of heart carries oxygenated blood and right side heart carries deoxygenated blood. Okay. So when blood has got oxygenated in lung, it returns to the left atrium through the pulmonary vein. From the left atrium, the blood will now reach the left ventricle. This is the diastolic period. During the diastolic period, there is rapid ventricular filling. That is, blood gushes from the left atrium to the left ventricle and from the right atrium to the right ventricle. This is called rapid ventricular filling. And last 10 to 15% of blood which remains in the atrium is pumped in the last phase to be pushed into the left ventricle to increase the cardiac output by about 10 to 15%. So the filling of left ventricle takes place in two parts. First, there is rapid ventricular filling and later by atrial contraction. Okay. During the systole, we have seen that when left ventricle contracts, the blood is pushed into the aorta. At that time, mitral wall and tricuspid wall closes, because if during ventricular systole they remains open, blood will regurgitate into the left atrium and into the right atrium. So at the onset of systole, these mitral and tricuspid wall closes, and which leads to production of first heart sound. Okay, as contraction continues, aortic pressure at the later phase becomes more than the left ventricle pressure, and now aortic wall closes and similarly pulmonary wall closes. This closure of aortic and pulmonary wall produces second heart sound. So first heart sound is at the onset of systole when mitral and tricuspid wall closes, and second heart sound, that is closure of aortic and pulmonary wall, starts when there is diastolic period has started, because in diastole, if these walls remain open, blood will return from the aorta and pulmonary trunk to the left and right and left ventricle, which should not occur. Okay. Now the blood which has reached the systemic circulation will through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava reach the right atrium. From the right atrium, it will go to the right ventricle through the tricuspid wall. This is all deoxygenated blood. Then through pulmonary trunk, it will reach the lung. It will get oxygenated. It will return through the pulmonary vein into the left atrium, through the left atrium, through the mitral wall. It will reach the left ventricle, and this cycle continues. Important thing is, when systole starts, when left ventricle and right ventricle contracts, these wall closes, leads to first heart sound production. At the onset of diastole, aortic and pulmonary wall closes, leads to production of second heart sound. And in diastolic phase, the first part, which is rapid ventricular filling, leads to production of S3, and the last part, in which atrium contracts to push the last 10 to 15% of the blood into the left atrium and to the right atrium to increase the cardiac output, leads to production of S4. So first heart sound is because of closure of mitral and tricuspid wall. Second heart sound is because of closure of aortic and pulmonary wall. Third heart sound is because of rapid ventricular filling, and fourth heart sound is because of atrial contraction. Important thing is, we normally hear first and second heart sound, which are called lub-dub. S3 and S4 can be physiological, but they are usually pathological. Pathological means they usually occur in disease process. S3 is a very important sign of left ventricular failure. Remember this. And as far as these sound are concerned, these S1, S2, S3, S4, only S2 is a high pitch sound. Rest all S1, S3, S4 are low pitch sound.